at the Southampton Boat Show on this ELAN E4. Now we have Ned with us here today who's going to tell us all the details. And I guess we'll start with, who is this boat designed for?
So it's designed to hit the cruiser racer market. So it's what I call a performance cruiser, designed to be sort of 60-60, best of both worlds.
Cool.
A lot of our customers are starting to use them for offshore racing, for short-handed passage making, and particularly then it gives them the freedom to do some sailing with the family when they're not racing. So it's fitted out properly with internal comforts and creature comforts that they all want. I
mean, that sounds pretty perfect, doesn't it? So can you just give us a quick rundown on size?
So size, this one comes in at 10.6 metres with a draft of 2.15 metres and a beam of 3.5 metres.
Of course, is that about 30?
So 34'9" in old money. Yeah.
Good stuff. And what sort of money are we talking here?
So to take this one today, it's currently in stock at 260,000, including VAT, including all the kit you can see on the boat.
Is that pounds?
That's pounds, yeah.
Okay, cool. If I was to ask you, like, key feature on board this boat, what would it be?
Key features? It's really just the design quality. What ELAN really likes to stand out for is their veil construction. So a lot of companies now are doing vacuum infused lamination. ELAN are taking it a step further. They're now vacuum infusing the matrix of the keel and the matrix of the stringers that support the rigging as well. So it's all one integral hull that's moulded right from the beginning, unlike a lot of other manufacturers that bond them on afterwards.
Okay, and this might be a silly question, but what's inside the keel? Is it lead?
So the keel, it's got a lead bulb,
Yeah, exactly. LED bulb. Okay. Cool. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get inside and have a snoop around. Thank you very much.
Great, no problem.
Okay, so starting at the front, we've obviously got our bowsprit on this thing. This is effectively a cruising sports boat. It's a retractable carbon bowsprit on this particular boat, and we'll have a look in the anchor locker here. So again, obviously looking at the front, the furler is a Selden through deck furler, which is fantastic, really cool. And what I love about the ELAN setup is really so simple. The bowsprit comes in and out, and we've got this here, so this is your tack line. So basically that is taken back to the cockpit, so you can adjust the tack line, which is on your spinnaker that you're using. Windlass controls in here, quite a cavernous locker actually, it's quite a big space. And I think what's really nice is being able to get into the whole extension area for the bowsprit. I think it's really important. Stainless steel rings hold that in place, and Harken hardware here and here. Again, Harken hardware here as well, which is what you use to actually extend the bowsprit out, and Harken hardware here as well, which is your furling line, which we can spin around beautifully easily there. As with all the ELANs, we've got a built-in grip on the deck. We've got flush hatches here, really neat, smart stuff, easy to work with. We have a keel stepped mast by the looks of it here with a nice rubber grommet on it, nice mast foot, again Harken hardware. The cruising ESP sheaves, really nice, so these have got a thrust bearing as well as the lateral bearings as well, so really nice. They're not going to grow tired for a long time. Pretty good boat, you know, I mean, I think these things are really fast, you know, they're designed to go fast. Rig is on swept back spreaders. There's a huge amount of pre-bend in that and quite a bit of rake, which suggests quite a bit of power. She's a Humphreys design hull. So Rob Humphreys has been doing this for quite a long time. He knows his oats, I'm sure. So a couple of really nice touches as we work back. Obviously we've got some Dyneema in here, so less chafing on the bottom of the kicker here. It's quite nice. Nice 6-to-1. All the blocks are quite small, but she's not a massive boat. She's designed for speed, she's designed for lightweight. The whole Veil technology they use is all about stiffness and lightweight, which I think is really, really good. This particular model on a traditional slab reefing, which I think is very sensible for a boat this size. Quite a bit of roach in that sail, I imagine, as well. So good handholds, and the coach is reasonably tall actually, which is quite surprising on a boat of this size, but it's not such a lean over, which I think is quite nice there. Tracks are down here, quite far inboard, so we're obviously going to have reasonably tight sheeting angles, so she'll point well to the wind. Unlike most boats like this, the stern is pinched in underneath. It's a really wide, powerful stern when she's heeled over, but pinched in underneath is reducing that wetted area, so it means that she's going to go nicely in light airs as well. just noticed the cleats as well. These are pretty cool. Seen these becoming more and more common on a few boats. Really, really nice. Just easy, solid things. And you're not going to stub your toes on those. I think that's good. Obviously, nice wide decks on this boat. Something which is not often found on a boat of this size. We'll take a little wander back and see what's in the cockpit. So moving into the cockpit, which is clearly something amazing on this boat. A couple of nice touches. We've got the primaries and the secondary winches, which are recessed in, so they just don't stand so proud, and you know, there's less to clobber your feet on. I think that's quite important. Twin helm, kind of almost compulsory for things these days, but what I do like is the main is running right where it should be, right at the mid end of the boom. Dyneema again here, and I think it's quite cool. We've got a nice trimming position here for somebody who's working the travellers. We can sit here and trim the travellers quite easily. I think that's quite good. Obviously a lot of space under here where the pedestals are floating. I think that's quite nice. B&G system for the electronics, very good. Volvo Penta engine, we've got a rev counter down there and all the engine clobber. Cool thing about the ELANs though is this here. There's a built-in footrest, so when you're heeled over you can be comfortably sitting up here on this nice area with somewhere for your feet, which I think is really good. So of course we need to think about storage on the boat. Let's have a look under here. Nice cushions, and this is absolutely massive. This could almost be another berth in there. It's pretty big. There's even some ladders going down into that. That's pretty cool, and it smells of brand new gel coat, which is always a nice smell. Surprisingly thick makeup on the lockers actually. The whole, you know, these boats are renowned for being lightweight and fast, but it doesn't feel plasticky. It actually feels quite good. It feels quite strong. Teak table, antique cockpit seats, I think that's quite nice. Banker clutches or piano, so to speak, and a nice hatch on either side just by the companionway. Maybe this could come further back, but you lose that feeling of space, which I think is what this boat does really, really well. So other thing we need to just check out before we go down is helming position. On the helm we've got some adjustable footrest and again some more locker space in the back. Okay, so this locker we've got, lift this up, quite a sizable space. The whole thing's empty, so there's plenty of space in there for your swimming gear and the likes. This one here I believe is exactly the same. We'll just check it to make sure. Yep, same thing again. Plenty of space in there. This one's a little shallower. The shower and the shower controls are run into there as well. And just on this side we've got the space here for the gas bottle, which probably is the only letdown on this boat, because it's just a single, I think it's the 2.5. Yeah, it's a single 2.5 kilogram LPG tank, which is there on the port side. So that's probably the only letdown so far. I'll tell you what else I've noticed as I was just going down there. We've got a really cool little window in the aft cabin here, which is pretty sweet. So outside, clearly a boat for a sailor, definitely a sports boat, someone looking for an absolute blast and a bit of fun. Adjustable backstay as well, which are twin backstays. Fantastic. Really, really fast, fun piece of kit, I'm sure. And we do actually know someone who's got one of these and they really do rate it as a sailing boat, but what we've got to do is go down below and check out how comfortable it is to actually live aboard as well. So coming down the companionway on the ELAN E4, it's not really what you would expect for a 35-foot boat, but I think what's weird about it is the cockpit seems so massive it feels like it belongs to a 40-footer. And coming down the companionway, it's really cool. You know, you've got a little flap at the bottom which you can lift up. That is to obviously stop wash, and then the rest of the washboards are elsewhere. They get stored elsewhere. But the actual companionway steps is really relaxed and cool. It's easy to get in. They're on a really nice shallow angle, so you don't feel sort of cramped like you're climbing a pair of ladders. It's really easy to get in and out of. Beautiful wooden joinery. You know, this oak we've got here, the handrails are so big, chunky, carved out things. Pretty hardcore stuff. All of the boat is in oak. It's really nice. We've got huge amounts of storage straight away. Kind of kitchen style hinges. Maybe they are, maybe they're not so robust, I don't know. Yeah, small chart table, which I think is becoming par for the course on boats these days, because with the modern electronics, people just are not using them. Gas strut on here. The boat is a lightweight boat, so we have to remember that we're not expecting it to be, you know, full-on hardcore. This is not an ocean cruiser built to cross oceans time and time and time again. You may do the odd one, of course, but we're not looking for a build quality that would be expected from that. She's effectively a sports cruiser, so we want something light and fast, and I think they've done a good job. Submarine setup in here, nice and simple, and obviously a really nice switch panel. Webasto heater, a few more bits and bobs in here, nice lift up compartments, quite a lot of good stuff going on. So that's on the starboard side. If we go to the port side, we've got the galley. So we have a form of plastic. I'm not sure if this is Corian or something like that, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it, doesn't feel heavy enough, but it's quite thin, maybe 6mm. So again, built for weight saving, pretty cool. Top loading fridge. That's pretty big, that isotherm fridge. For a 35 footer, I think that's pretty good. It's a lot bigger than what we were used to on our last boat like that. Good storage here. Good storage here. Interesting sort of moulding in here, so they haven't gone for a shiny look, keeping the weight down. And the GRP, there's no sort of laminates on there, there's no, you know, nice trimmings or anything. It is what it is. It's a fast boat, so that's what they have. 2-burner stove, nice solid looking thing. Eno stove, looks quite good. I don't know much about them, but I'm sure they're pretty good. The fiddles are absolutely indestructible, actually. The fiddles are insane. So moving into the aft here, we've got a big double, and it is a big double. That is really spacious. Because of that wide stern, we've got loads of room in the back for comfort. Nice windows as well, so we've got one going into the cockpit sole, and we've got another one up top which leads up into the around the dodger area, so it's always sheltered when you're sailing, which is cool. Loads of storage actually, and yeah, these cupboards are really big. They're really nice, so they're pretty surprising actually for a boat of this size. On the other side, starboard side, we've got the heads. We've got quite a small sink, which I suppose is all you need. Quite a bit of storage, standard sort of marine head. What is nice is that we have the companionway storage, which is actually on the side here, which is permanently fixed if you want it. Ventilation to the cockpit sole and also into the dodger up there. What is really cool about this boat in particular is behind here. You can tell it's a sailor's boat. It's built for those who want to go sailing. So there's a big ducket back here which you can dump all of your wet oilies and clothes in or drain them into, and that drains out to sea. So I think really good idea that is. I think it's quite nice to see a boat which is built for sailors who get wet. So that's nice. Moving forward, we've got nice handrails, really sturdy. I mean, this is probably 3/4 of an inch thick solid oak, really good. The rest of this stuff is obviously laminated to keep the weight down. Some nice windows here. So in the saloon, we've got this nice window in here which we can see out. It's quite a small window, but I think it's all you need, keeping the strength up as well. Keel step mast here, which you can see the step itself is right down here, and quite a nice table system which obviously folds out as well. Nice and simple. So LED lighting, as you would expect these days, pretty cool. Very spacious feeling boat actually. A lot of headroom. I'm 5'8", a lot of space in here. Super lightweight blind system going on here. Super lightweight. A boat which is built to go places and go places fast. Hey, that's a neat touch as well. We've got USB sockets inside the lights. Quite a nice touch. Okay, so moving forward, another well chunky door. Obviously we go forward on a boat of this size. Headroom is compromised, but I'm still stood up in here. It's actually quite good. Nice big V berth. Very nice place to keep your sails and the likes in there. Super duper. Huge storage again. I can see it was huge before I opened it, and it is big. It's very good. Nice spacey boat. Two of these, one either side. Figure in the oak in here is beautiful as well. It's got really nice medulla to it. It's a really pretty boat. it kind of feels lightweight and fast, which it is. But what I do like it is that obviously some of the parts have to be made so they're a bit lighter weight, so they're maybe not as robust as say an ocean-going cruiser, but all the bits that take the wallop when the doors are closed are built strong. So all of the fiddles everywhere on the top, there's always a fiddle, that's a good place to hold on to. All the door frames are solid oak and it's all really thick with no fine edges on them to get knocked off. So I think it's pretty cool. So I think that's probably about everything to say about the ELAN E4. I think it's a really cool, fast little cruiser. I'd like to have a go at it one day and see what it actually performs like. And hopefully we'll get to have a go. So do stick around and follow us, like and subscribe to Sail Hub. It really helps us get along and get to these boat shows to show you what's going on in the world. We'll see you next time.